Hello folks, and welcome back to the final stages of this build for the Rudder Bug. After completing a demonstration of covering the wings to show how I approach doing a wing with an undercamber, I promised that I would show you the completed model when it was finally done. Well, it's taken the best part of, I'd say, 2.5 days to complete this covering. The fuselage was actually quite involved, and that's mainly because if we look closely at it, I don't know how much you'll be able to see, there are lots of angles and there were lots of panels involved in putting this together. You can see there the underside of the wing is a different colour, it's white, simply because I didn't have enough covering to complete the job all in yellow. The wings look even bigger now that they've been covered. You have a chord there of 13 inches. The wingspan is 6.5 feet. So it's got quite a presence here on the dining room table. I'm really pleased at what it looks like. I think in terms of artistic colour wheels, yellow and red always seem to go well together. I've picked out the door with a black surround just to make it stand out a little. And there's a one each side. And the space inside is actually cavernous, so it'll be very easy, I think at least, especially with both doors open, to get inside there and link everything up. The elevator will be operated by a wire and tube, and the rudder will be a continual loop pull system, I refer to it as. I think it's a better description. The undercarriage, to me, seems a little bit flimsy, so I'm going to solder a stretcher wire across the main axle, and I think that will improve the rigidity of that. I've got a feeling it would just squash on landing, depends how it floats in, I suppose. Glazing still to be done, obviously. That can be quite involved, so perhaps I'll do a second video on that one, or another video rather. The inside at the moment is unpainted. I'll paint that and then I'll fuel proof it, because initially it's going to have an IC engine, internal combustion, and it's going to take the form of a Sato 40. Now that Sato 40 is a bit tired and it's on its last legs. The bearings need changing. So at some point, this is going to be swapped over and electric will be installed. Now, that's not a permanent conversion. My aim is to be able to swap and change between the two, just out of devilment, to see if it's really a viable option. So that's a task that I need to crack on with. I think as it is, it's very impressive. It fills a lot of space. This dining room table has certainly seen one or two big models, but this one is in amongst the big boys. But it's very plain, so it needs something to break it up. But I'll probably keep it quite simple. It might just be a flash. The name may appear on the model someplace. It's been a great journey. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I like building from scratch. I like building from kits. I even just like getting a model and taking it flying. But when I've actually picked up somebody else's project, there's an extra sort of feeling of achievement getting that project done. And this chap who started this, Dick Lindsley, who I never met, but I feel like I know something about how his mind worked, because this is the second one of his models that I've come in contact with. Always built to a very high standard. And this, he had the idea of introducing wing warping, or wing wiggling as I call it, so that both wings are going to move independently. I suspect, in all honesty, that they'll have only a limited effect, mainly because of the degree of dihedral that's in the wing. But he started the idea, and I think it's in his honour that I would like to see it tried out. So initially, it'll take to the skies on 3-channel, and then when I get to a safe altitude and the model's been trimmed, I'm going to activate the wing wiggle, and we'll see if it works or not. It could end in disaster, but at least the project will be finished. So I hope you've enjoyed this journey. I think it's a handsome looking model. I hope you agree. If you're into vintage models, I think you will agree. They're not everybody's cup of tea, but I really enjoy them. Weather at the moment is pretty lousy, so I don't know when that'll be a maiden for this model. I still have a few bits and pieces to do on it. So while the weather's not up to scratch, I'll get creative and I'll get this project finished. Thanks for looking in. Please give it a thumbs up if you don't mind. It helps spread the word. And if you haven't already done so, how about subscribing, and then you can follow some of the other projects and ideas that I'm going to be working on. So I'll leave you with a final view of the Rudder Bug with wing wiggle. Bye, folks.